Okay, making your jacket foundation. You'll need to do this first before creating any designs for a jacket or a coat. The jacket and the coat foundations are actually made a little bit roomier. They are developed off of the torso pattern. Right here on my course connection, you can download the torso pattern by clicking on this. And then once you have downloaded it, you can open it in Illustrator. Here I have our torso pattern already opened in Illustrator. One of the first things that I'm going to need to do is save as, go to File, Save As, make sure that you change it to the name of this assignment, which will be the Jacket Foundation, and include your initials so you get credit for your work. And I'm going to save, go for all the defaults here. Now, first things first, let's select the actual pattern pieces and let's change the fill to a nothing fill. That way we can see our grid through the pattern. That will help for some of our assembly of things or our positioning of different things. One of the other nice or handy things to do is go ahead and move your notations on the pattern out of the way there. Now I'm going to zoom in so that our first step will be to move the bust point over. What I am doing is following the directions that are found in your pattern making textbook. This is on page 461. The diagrams in the book and the adjustments we will make are for the jacket foundation. If you read closely through the instructions, it does say to double any of the measurements listed in the diagrams if you are going to make a coat foundation. That way it makes it even roomier. All right, first thing is to move the bust point over 1/4 of an inch. We want to keep it at the same level. So I'm zooming in so I can see my grid very well. And I'm selecting my bust point. It should be a grouped object. So once you click on it, it all selects. And I need to keep it on the exact same level. I want to move it over 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to use my keyboard arrows to do that. Hold down the Shift key and it will actually move it 1/8 of an inch. Maybe just a hair over. So there, 2/8 is 1/4 of an inch, keeping it level. Now we need to add our anchor points on our armhole curve, 3 inches down from the shoulder point, and an anchor point on our neckline. So moving up here, actually just as a note, I am on the front pattern piece. So I get my add anchor point tool. Again, I can use my grid here for quick locating of the position I want. I need 2 full inches and then how many more below another inch? 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4. So that's about 1/2 an inch. So there's 1/2 an inch. There's 1 1/2. 2 1/2, and halfway into this other one will be 3 inches down, and I will put my point there. The one for the neck, it just says on the mid neck. Again, we can eyeball that and put that anchor point there. Now we need to cut our anchor points so they will be ready to rotate as we need to transfer some of our dart excess. Get your scissors tool and cut the new one on the neck and the new one on the armhole. There we go. So we've got that. And we're going to use our direct select tool to select the dart point of our side dart. That way we can go ahead and remove these segment lines. So direct select tool, that's the white arrow. And by selecting that single point, it also selects the segments on either side of it. And I will just click delete. It removes those segments and leaves this as an open path. If I just did minus anchor point, it would take the anchor point out, but it would leave the path as a closed path there. But we need those open as we rotate our piece here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so that we can collect all of this upper part. We're going to transfer some of this side dart excess up to our neck hole first, neck line. So actually my lasso tool would be the easier tool to collect all of this. Within my collection, I am also grabbing, oh, I don't want the computer always wants to slide with that. Now, I can see that these two points are not in the group, so I can go to my direct select, hold down my shift key, and grab all those points as well. Everything is highlighted with the points that will move when I rotate. I will get my rotate tool, change my orientation with a single click to the bust point. And now when I click to rotate, I can do that. I'm going to zoom in using my keyboard shortcut. This is my command or control key and the plus sign. My space bar allows me to pan. That way I can get in here and see a little bit better. I want to move this point 1/4 of an inch. So when I click and drag, I'm actually rotating and opening this up 1/4 of an inch. If it's not exact or you think, I want to do that again, do Command Z. It'll undo just that rotation part and you can click and drag and get it again. Now I'm going to zoom out, move over. I am going to deselect everything by clicking away using my selection arrow. Now I need to rotate the lower part here, transferring some of my dart excess over here to the armhole. And again, I'm going to use my lasso tool to gather that, get my direct select tool to add to the selection by holding down the shift key. With all of those points selected, I am going to rotate again, and this time we need to rotate it about a 1/2 of an inch from the bust point. So single click, and if I would like to, I can zoom in a little bit here so I can see it a little better. And this opening is about 1/2 an inch. I like the looks of that. And now I can deselect everything quickly. I can just toggle my tool out of rotation to just be able to click away. That is the command tool or command key. Single click, deselect everything. But I am still in the rotate tool. I really don't need to do that, so I'm just going to get my selection arrow. All right, we have made some of the, there we go, rotations. We have added more up here at our neckline and the armhole. We've made it a little roomier by dropping it down some. We will need to go ahead and redraw our curves. So we will select these different segments here. And I'm also going to select my back pieces at the moment and change these to a dashed line. That way I know those were my original sizes. We will use the create a new layer here that we will draw our new one on. All right, so I'm going to lock my torso draft, and this layer will be my jacket foundation pieces. Okay, now I will be ready to redraw these by setting points, because I'm also going to be shifting these up and away from or further out in areas to accommodate a roomier foundation or perimeter. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see again my graph here just a little bit better as I draw with my pen tool. Make sure I am on my new layer. My torso draft is locked so I don't accidentally draw on that layer. I am looking at my diagram on page 461 to make these adjustments. My first point is actually going to be about 1/8 of an inch lower than where that point starts. I'm going to single click and drag, holding my shift key down, out this way. That way my control arms are almost half the distance of this curve. Then I'm going to come over here. I am over 1/8 of an inch, and I'm also up 1/8 of an inch. And I can click, hold, and drag till I like the curve of my neckline and let up. Now I can come back on that point, single click, then my control arm is only on that curve, and now I can go for a straighter line. Here, I need to be up 1/4 of an inch from this point and out 1/4 of an inch from that point. I'm going to use my space bar to pan just a little bit, and I can click, hold, and drag to get, again, a control arm, a single one to this side of my point. And as I go to set my next one down here under the arm, I am actually going to go down 1/2 an inch below the arm and over 1/2 an inch, and click, hold, and drag. And I'm not going to worry too much right now how that curve looks just yet, because I have the ability to change my, edit my point positions after I've drawn it. I just want to get kind of close enough. All right. I also am going to pass by this dart, kind of leaving it open. And, oh, I should have. I'm staying 1/2 an inch away from this outer edge here. I probably need another point right in this area. Probably should have also changed my path back to a solid line instead of dotted line, but that's okay. I'm going to come over here, click on that right above that point, and also come up to here. All right, I got back to there till I got a closed shape. With my new shape, I do want to go ahead and change it off of the dashed line so I can see it as a solid line. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and I can direct select points if I want to adjust somewhat my curves here for the armhole or the neck, if there was anything I needed to adjust, or even switch or move some adjustments editing here along that side. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, the back piece, again, you can use the pen tool. We have some modifications here. We can keep this dart or go ahead and go straight across and just kind of absorb it into the piece. I'm going to need to zoom in somewhat. Okay. Whoops. Nope. 1/8 of an inch below this. And again, click, hold, drag, get an extension arm for controlling your curve. I am over 1/8 and up 1/8 of an inch from here. Click, hold, drag as I like to see that curve look. Come back right on that point to change that. The book does have us go ahead and put this dart back in. We can. And then out here at the side, we are up 1/4 of an inch and out 1/4 of an inch. Okay. I can click and drag down that way for that curve, coming under the arm, down 1/2 an inch and over 1/2 an inch. Click, hold, and drag. Again, I can reset that or adjust that a little bit later. Now I can set my side points. I'm about 1/2 an inch away from the outer edge here. Again, if they're not perfect, keep going. You can edit that single point later. Over here, and now this is a nice straight line all the way back to the beginning. Click, and now I have one whole piece. I'm going to zoom out just slightly to kind of look at my armhole curve. I think I might bring this in just a little bit and down just a little bit. All right, I think that's pretty much all the changes of what I see here on page 461. My next video will address actually doing the changes to the sleeve. So we'll pick up with that in the next video.